fit that line item on the budget here. So with that being the only amendment that I have, if there are none other, motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Bass. Second by Holt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, agenda is approved. At this point in time, we will move into the dangerous animal hearing that we have this evening. With that being said, I ask for Ms. Mullally or Mr. Sanders to come forward. In your agenda package, you should have some information in regard to the current situation, as well as go ahead and give you guys the floor to kind of give us a little bit of history on why we're here this evening regarding this animal.
So it looks like on March 24th. So I guess it'd be the 23rd. What happened was Miss Click's dog somehow got off his chain and attacked the elderly neighbor's chihuahua. I wasn't able to get the pictures printed out because I guess Walmart hasn't gotten their kiosk back up and running yet. Pretty significant amount of damage to the chihuahua. Along with being afraid to go outside, also, had some pretty good tears to its back, its legs, up by the neck. She previously had the same issue with the neighbor, had the same issue with the dog identified as Sheba about 2 years ago, where it actually ended up killing her dog. I contacted the vet. They said that yes, the dog did sustain injuries from a dog bite, and therefore had to be euthanized. So my biggest concern is that the dog is going to continue attacking other dogs. Locust Street, where they belong, has several dogs. The 93-year-old lady that is the victim is definitely afraid of going outside. While I was there taking the report, I had to go out there just so her child could go to the bathroom. This lady, the 93-year-old lady, fought off this pit bull with a broom, finally got it to let go. Which, like I said, at this time, my biggest concern is with a dog. We know it starts with a dog, and then either a human gets involved trying to separate them, or the dog just turns and eventually attacks somebody. With locusts or that root subdivision having a lot of kids, my biggest concern is that this dog is going to continue attacking, as well as possibly risk attacking a human being and or a child. So she was cited for the dog running at large, as well as not being vaccinated. The dog was not current on rabies, therefore did not have a city license. So I did cite her for that. The dog was given in-home quarantine for 10 days. On the 9th day, Ms. Click was advised that the dog had to be in her control and in her sight at all times, being outside with the dog. I can tell you on the 9th day, the dog was left outside, unattended. The photo I had taken shows that the dog was out on the run by itself, nobody around it, which is technically a violation of quarantine. But with the quarantine ending the next day, I just told Ms. Click that we need to make sure to keep an eye on the dog, and the dog has to be with somebody at all times. So I don't know if you guys have any questions about. Like I said, the biggest concern is, the dog has attacked twice now. The first time being before I was, the animal control for the city. But going by vet records, it did say that this dog was, and in the ordinance it does say that, anytime a dog causes a bite or, a wound to another animal, it would, risk being dangerous.
Sure. So this specific animal has in the past gave injuries to another dog that quite possibly.
Well, the same owner, different dog, yes.
Okay, same owner, different dog. So the one that where the other animal passed away was a different dog.
Yeah, different
dog.
Dog.
It was the injuries the same. They had the
Gotcha.
and we verified that with that.
Okay. Any questions for Missy or Jeremy regarding what took place here? Yes, sir.
I don't know if you still do, but a few years ago, well, 10 years back, we had this is Animal Control Committee. Do we still have that? Who's on that?
We don't have a specific committee for just vicious animals. Obviously we have our Animal Control Committee, but not a national committee just for vicious animals.
We did have it.
Not, maybe in the past, yes.
So we had a resident.
Not since I've been.
We had a resident out of town, and a board member sat in, because a pit bull is considered vicious by our city ordinance back then, if it would attack
That's
by
all been changed.
If it did, then it'd either been put down to sleep or removed from the city of Cuba. If it stayed in the city of Cuba, it would have had to have an orange collar on a chain, and a fence. That was the
covered fence.
What?
A covered.
You remember that, don't you? But I should be speaking, Jeff should be speaking.
With a concrete pad so it couldn't dig out. But we don't have that ordinance anymore.
Right, yeah, that doesn't exist at this point in time. This is the third hearing that I've been a part of, either as mayor or alderman, so we had to remove animals from the city limits.
I know that too.
That was sort of where we went, but, you heard it, the dog that we're speaking of, the pit bull that belongs to Miss Click, attacked the neighbor's chihuahua, leading to some pretty significant injuries, among some other citations with that animal. Is there any more questions for Missy or Cameron?
Can we look at ordinance book and see if that ordinance is still in there?
It's not.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
it's
just
been
didn't
repealed.
remember
There's
amending
no-
that, getting rid of that city ordinance. As long as I've been on that board, we've never got rid of that city ordinance, but I don't know.
It's not there now.
Is Miss Click here this evening?
Yeah.
Ma'am, would you like to come forward and speak on behalf of yourself and your animal?
Well, my dog isn't vicious. And she broke loose out her, chain. And, she went, as a curious dog, she went next door. When she seen Ruth outside in her yard. And her other dog did not die from the bites.
It was euthanized later from the injuries.
No, it was not.
Well, either way, this dog did get bit by your dog that we're speaking of here tonight, correct? The Chihuahua?
No, I don't think so. I do not believe she was even bit, because the dog is not vicious.
Okay.
What's up? I'm sorry.
She's saying that the dog didn't get bit by the dog, but you did see it.
Did you see Miss Carol's dog?
Yes,
It was bit?
yes.
And she did write a statement as well.
And did that dog seek medical treatment, or did the owner
So they
seek?
said you would have had the next, the following Monday.
Okay. And do we have any statement from the vet?
I don't have one, I wasn't able to make contact with the vet beforehand. I mean, like I said, I have some pictures on the cell phone, but like I said, I wasn't able to get a whole lot of them printed out. But, I mean, I can show, you can see the ears been torn up along, the side where it actually grabbed the dog. You can see the wound that's on the neck of the function wound as well, as you can see where the rear end was bloodied up.
It happened on Easter, right?
Did anybody actually see this dog back this dog? Did anybody actually see this dog back this dog? Well, I don't
The
know.
owner,
The owner saw it.
the neighbor, the owner of the Chihuahua, yes, she was out in the front yard checking the mail. The dog came out through and she literally had to go over every room and try separating the two dogs.
Okay.
Council, again, historically, we discuss decisions we make here. Usually, one is take no action, two is move for the dog to be removed outside the city limits to a friend or a family member. I mean, that's kind of what we've done before in this type of situation. I for one am not big on ordering euthanization of animals if it's something we can prevent. That's why we've historically tried to go the route of removing the animal to a friend or a family outside the city. However, it's up to you guys to make a motion on this if you feel like you're haven't provided enough information at this point in time. The only thing that I remain concerned about with this situation and with past situations is if a child would get bit or attacked, then that would be difficult for my conscience knowing that it's been brought to our attention before that the dog has attacked another animal. I certainly hate for a happy human being. So I don't know if council, you have any recommendations or motions you'd like to make regarding this, or if you have any more questions for either party.
The dog that was damaged earlier, was that reported, do you know?
We don't have a
It
report.
wasn't reported to us, but the vet said the vet, when we called, called the vet said that yes, that an animal was previously bitten to it. And when I asked Ms. Cliff if she had any previous history with the dog, she repeated her answer was, my dog didn't kill that dog.
But it was a different pit bull?
No, it was her saying it was the same dog, Sheila, but it was the 93-year-old lady's other.
Understood. So, yeah, I was a little confused on that, I'm sorry. So this actual animal that we were speaking of, the pit bull, has been involved in two
Yes,
incidents.
so two.
One resulting in a death, and then now this most recent.
Correct.
Understood.
Cody?
Yes, sir.
Jeff, do we have a city ordinance on this now? This is dog animal.
This is it was taken out.
It was taken out.
So we don't have no,
There is a vicious animal ordinance.
what's it say? It used to
It's right
say-
here in your
I
packet.
would say it should be in the packet.
Dangerous animals. Definition of dangerous animals for the purpose of this section. An animal which has without provocation inflicted on a human being any physical injury by means of biting or other physical injury by means other than biting. An animal which has without provocation killed another domestic animal while outside the property. An animal which when unprovoked chases or approaches a person or other animals and street, sidewalks, public grounds, private property, and so on and so on. And there's a lot of language here, but it does define dangerous animal.
Okay, now what does it define us to do if we have a dangerous animal?
Okay, action to be taken for dangerous animals. An animal responsible for unprovoked severe injury, defined by injury as aforementioned. In all other cases, the dangerous animal should be removed from the city and shall not be permitted to be harbored, kept, or possessed within the city limits. That's option, there's two options here. Option A, the animal shall be destroyed. Option B, removing the animal and not disallowing it to be harbored, kept, or possessed within the city.
All right, I understand. We have to follow city ordinance too. I'll make a motion to remove the dog from town, then I ain't gonna put the dog to sleep. You know, that's the best, maybe you got a family member
Yeah.
So I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion on the table to have the animal removed to possibly friends or family outside the city limits. Motion by Copeland. Yes, sir.
If I may make a suggestion, do this as a two-step process.
Okay.
First, we need a motion to declare whether the animal is dangerous or not.
Okay.
After, if it is found to be dangerous, then move to one of the two options. So, rather than jump to one of the options,
Understood.
do a motion to determine whether or not the animal should be declared dangerous.
Kevin, would you like to withdraw your motion?
I'll withdraw.
Based upon our city ordinance and what within our city ordinance defines a dangerous animal, is there any motion on the floor to deem this animal dangerous?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Copeland to deem the animal a dangerous animal.
I'll second it.
Second by Holt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 5-0. The animal is deemed dangerous due to our ordinance as defined.
But I'm
Second,
gonna make a motion now that we moved out of town, don't put it to sleep. She may have a family member or something, don't take that. I ain't gonna put that dog to sleep.
okay, motion to have the animal moved outside of the city limits to remain captive within 10 days.
Second.
Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Any further information you might need, animal control will be happy to provide to you, but that gives you 10 days to find the animal safe home.
Okay.
So that way, they can continue its life and we can keep the neighbors safe.
Okay.
Alrighty?
If it's still in city limits after 10 days, then it's secured by animal.
Then it's secured by animal control, absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you, council. Alright, moving on. Figure out where I put my agenda. Real quick, line item number 3, the regular meeting minutes from the last meeting of March 16th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Martin,
Second.
second by Holt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The amendment to our agenda, adding a line for public participation. Is there anyone here this evening from the public that would like to speak? Okay. Hearing none, we will move on to the Emergency Preparedness Director report, Mr. Neff.
I got a couple things for you guys. Tornado siren test Tuesday, all worked.
The airport?
And the airport.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it did. And another thing, cameras are doing fine. We have to add 3 additional cameras to Hood Park. We had a situation about a week or 2 ago. We had a couple individuals stole some wire. So we're going to add 3 additional cameras and more lighting to Hood Park.
Okay, very good. So council, if you hadn't heard, there was an incident at Hood Park where some wire was stripped out of the building. Obviously, that's a cost to us. So we will be adding additional cameras, additional lighting to try to help prevent this from happening in the future.
And I'm still in contact with the siren company about moving the siren on the west of town. I still haven't heard anything back. They're kind of backed up with all the weather that we've been having for the past couple weeks to a month. So hopefully within a couple weeks I can get back with them and see what we need to do. So
Okay, very good.
that's all I have.
Anything for Rodney? Any word on any mass vaccinations out of Hood Park or anything?
Nothing. But I'm gonna get in contact with the state and the health department, see if they got anything going on. So.
Very good. All right, Public Works Director report. Looks like we have some bids to take care of. What else do you have for us, Greg?
We'll start with these extra changes on the bids here. The first one will be for our Versatags to put a new addition on there. Got a bid from Midwest Electric Transforming Services for $10,700, and another bid from Sunbelt Solvent Solutions for $11,195.
Okay, 2 bids for transformer for Versatags. One at $11,195, one at $10,700.
Hey Greg,
Yes.
they both got the same guarantee, warranty and everything?
They're total, yeah.
They're just, okay.
It's the same total project.
Any motions, council?
I make most of it, we take the low bids, $700.
Second.
Okay, motion by Copeland, second by Black to accept the lower bid for the transformer at $10,700. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move forward with that one.
Got another one, this will be for Jim Montgomery's shop addition over there. Got one from Sunbelt Solvent Solutions again for $5,605, and one from Midwest Transformer Services for $7,525.
Okay, again, same situation, equal transformer, equal warranty. And the first one was Sunbelt.
Yes, Sunbelt.
The second one was Midwest. Okay, so 75-25 from Midwest on this one, 5605 from Sunbelt on this one. Any motion to council?
Make a motion for a little bit.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Black, second by Copeland to accept this $5,605 bid from Sunbelt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very good.
A third transformer here, which will go to Chris C.Y. Palmer at the edge of town, to put some equipment in the guitar shop. First one's from Midwest Electric Transformer, $39.70, and Sunbelt Solvent Solutions, $5,095.
And one bid for $3,970, the other for $5,095.
Motion to accept a little bit.
Okay, motion by Black, second by Copeland to accept a little bid of $3,970. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good.
We'll move on to the manhole. This is the manhole line we had, we're gonna do 85 manholes.
Okay.
On the southern portion of town, we had a meeting last. Had a meeting last Wednesday, and with Archer Elgin and us, and we had one bidder show up, which is Midwest Infrastructure, and their bid is $125,928.
And Greg, this manhole lining is a budgeted item. It falls under the available monies in this current budget, correct?
That is correct, yes, we budgeted money for it, yes.
Very good.
I'll make a motion to accept that.
Okay, motion by Kevin to accept the bid, for the 85 manholes to be lined. Second by Holt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very good.
And that is all the bid stuff I have.
Okay, real quick, I have a bid here that goes along with them, for the visitor center roof. It looks like we only received one bid, correct? So we'll go ahead and open it, it's sealed. But this is to tear off and replace the roof on the visitor center. This is also, it's requested to have the total cost for the labor and materials. So the single bid we received is from Moritz, M-O-R-I-T-Z Roofing. Looks like it's out of Owensville. And their bid is for $8,575. Any questions about that, council?
Budget item?
I believe so, yes.
Hey, well,
Actually, we had already been paid for this through an insurance in the past, and we just haven't done it.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Kevin to accept the bid.
Second.
Second by Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move forward on that. Okay, what else you have for Craig?
Kevin, great. I talked to you a couple days ago, last week, about the odor on the other side of Jeff's place, Chris Summer vision.
Yes.
I found the city gardens, gave it to Lance, and I just want to make sure everything's up to par to Lance. Our city gardens, how I read it, says maybe something different, but I don't know. I'm not an attorney, so I'm giving him a look at it. The citizens saying that they're getting headaches, some kids are getting sick, and they can't sit out in the yard. All I'm doing is just trying to follow the guidelines of our city gardens to make sure we are in compliance.
Certainly.
What do you think, Lance?
Well, the ordinance you gave me is the one governing nuisances. And so it needs to be investigated to see if it meets the discussion of nuisance. It's a criminal process, so it will probably eventually end up in front of the municipal judge. If they're keeping a nuisance, they can be fined up to $500 and 90 days in prison. But that's the ordinance that you.
That's the one I was gave, and that's up to date.
Then you need to have it investigated, and if a nuisance is declared, then it'll go to court. You also handed me the regulations regarding marijuana cultivation odors. There may be some concerns here, but the city doesn't have any ability to do anything with regulations. That would have to come through the Division of Regulation and Licensure, probably a department inside Health and Senior Services.
Yeah, all I'm trying to do is make sure our city owners and the citizens are just complaining, just seeing if there's something wrong or not. I have no idea, I guess.
Has anybody actually contacted the place to
I spoke
tell them
with
there's complaints?
I spoke with them this morning. Yeah.
So are they aware that they're?
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, I just wanted to extend the opportunity for him to come, Joe Giglio, the CEO, to come this evening. He was not able to do that. However, they're aware, him and his partner, Dan, are going to look into this to see what they can do to help remedy. Now, take that for whatever it's worth, right? There's definitely an odor, there's definitely a smell. There's no doubt about that. So the way I see it, there's two different things here. Obviously, see if this is an actual violation to our ordinance. If it is, then obviously we can take action and end that way. Outside of that, they've been, to this point, wonderful partners with the city. I would like to think that they would help alleviate this issue. I did not hear back from him today, but I would certainly stay in contact. I would think that they would want to resolve this.
My conversation with him went something like this, and this was probably about a week or so ago. He said he was not aware, no one had informed him that there was an odor, and in fact, he did not believe there was an odor, although obviously there was.
Maybe he's just too used to it.
But I suggest that might be the issue there. He said that this odor will only occur for 2 to 3 days during harvest. However, the problem with that, which he did say, I will write about this, there are at least 4 grow houses, so they could always be perpetually somebody's in a time of harvest. Later on, he amended and said maybe 5 days. He didn't feel like, he said they were switching to a different type of plant, so he was hoping that would help alleviate it. I did ask him about the filtering system. He felt like they were using, a superior filtering system, but clearly it's not effective. So, I left the conversation with, what can we tell these people? And he didn't have any answers, so it will only happen during harvest season, but it seems apparent that harvest season must be every day.
Right.
Because it's.
Yeah, I mean,
perpetual
again,
there, so.
it's certainly a noticeable smell, and if you live over there, it probably wouldn't become an inconvenience.
So I think we do have to stay vigilant with him, and just because they did say they wouldn't be good neighbors, that's not typically being a good neighbor. So if there are better systems, then we're gonna have to really kind of press this.
Well, I will call him again tomorrow to let him know that it was discussed and fill in on our conversations. I don't know, Lance, what or if we need to do to look further into that ordinance and see if that would fall under a violation. I guess would be up to the police department to determine, or?
Yeah, whoever will be investigating the nuisance, if there's been a complaint filed, there should be somebody to go over to see if they find a noxious odor. The most difficult thing that you're going to have to face is noxious odor can be, not all odors are noxious to everyone.
Yes, some people might like the smell, right?
People on the opposite side of the fence.
Well, and I think there's
If you
always.
live next to a vegetarian, they don't like the smell of barbecue.
Yeah, I mean, and also, any citizen has the opportunity to not even go through the city and file a civil suit. And, that's something that I would encourage anyone to do that feels necessary, do it civilly. Do it between yourself and this company. You don't even need to include the city. You have the right to do that. So that's something that some folks should maybe consider.
Smell it at my house.
I'll definitely talk to him tomorrow, let him know how this conversation went, see if he has any type of statement for us. I was hoping to have something tonight. And I think definitely we need to stay vigilant on it, Debbie, and also encourage those to, or remind them that, it can be handled civilly as well.
The gentleman that came here from the one that was gonna go out north of town here, they told us that there wouldn't be an odor coming out of their grow facility.
But that could go into work too. That could go into Sam's area too and get that odor. Hi, Sam. Can't wait. It's going to go into your area.
They also told us that there would be odor from this either.
Yeah, exactly.
Filtration system, so, and you may be right, maybe they can't spell it, but, we were also told, that we had to provide these letters and so forth, and that we couldn't make regulations that would deny certain things, and information has come from the Department of Senior Citizens and Health that that's actually not true. We can make regulations, so it may be that we need to do something from a legal standpoint.
Smells like a Bob Marley concert in Allen Terrace.
There you go. Kids at school are loving it.
Well, is Sanders still here?
Yeah.
He might have on the call. Now, this is a true story.
Yeah.
He went over there along that fence line and to do some investigating and found a whole covey of skunks. So, it could have been the skunks. Could have been the skunks. They were all dug in there, had a bunch of babies and everything, so.
Yeah,
Those
babies.
two smells would be confused, I suppose.
Well, when I drove through
You
the
didn't go over there and check that.
There are now some.
So, we can't blame it on the skunks, too. But no, we will look into it. I agree. Citizens should be able to sit on our back porch.
I didn't want to protect the citizens of the city of Cuba. They're the ones that have concerns, and I'm standing behind the citizens.
All right. Anything else for Craig?
Yeah, Craig, up there on 8th Street, where that new bank's being built, I've had some calls asking if they can put either asphalt or gravel back in that hole, because it's all gone, and it's, people are complaining that when they're trying to drive through it, they just jump their car all over it, and who knows what's there.
We'll look at that.
Yeah, and also on Spencer Street, where they cut the street all the way across, that one's getting pretty bad too, it needs gravel or asphalt or something put in it too.
It's right there at the bank, and then
Yeah.
another 100 yards down, there's another one from where that house was
Yeah,
built.
there's another one, yeah. That would be.
We've got important business.
So, at least we're going
I want you to I want that done. I've been asking for that for so long. They need to start in a section, clean the ditches and blow out the culverts. And so the water's not backing up and sand in people's yards. So, if we do that, we're trying.
Craig, what is the cleanup, leave an item outside again? As a
I
reminder?
believe it's May 10th and 11th.
May 10th and 11th. Okay, well, I'm not meeting until then. Okay, anything else for Craig? All right. Moving on to the police chief report, and Doug, I know you have some visitors here this evening to speak with the council, so we can also allow them to do that. Thank you for your patience while we conduct our business. But police chief report, Doug, what do you have for us?
I think we only had one nuisance come through, and that was 905 Myrtle. I think Craig has spoke with them. A couple of my officers have spoke with them. I think they have an understanding that they're not supposed to be living in that building. That's the only nuisance we've had.
And we did get a sign on the front door that states that it's an unsafe structure, so.
Yeah.
Now that that's been done, that allows you guys to do your jobs a little bit easier and put them off if they're in there.
And other than that, I really don't have anything else other than I know we were speaking before with council in regards to the CARES Act, purchasing computers for our department. We're down to, I think I told you before, we're down to 3 computers running on Windows 10 that aren't set up for Windows 10. So all our computers are crashing because of it, and we're down to 3 kind of working ones. I know that the city is looking at getting some other money funded to the city, and I've had the unique pleasure this week of meeting with the owners of the company that wants to come up and just kind of show you. They had an opportunity with the CARES board, and the CARES board really just didn't want to listen to them. But they would like to show you the computers we're looking at, introduce themselves, and tell you a little bit about the computers that we're looking at getting.
Can I ask a question for you there? So I recall that did not go for some computers and then they weren't approved. Is this the same thing?
Okay, so with the CARES Act, which these computers did qualify for, we presented everything. We purchased them. We gave them the receipts that we purchased to the CARES board, and they still denied purchasing the computers for us. We were in hopes, I believe, this gentleman had told me that we were like the only CARES board applicant that was denied to purchase the computers. So we're still trying in hopes to get these computers with the same pricing as the CARES grant would have given us to go ahead and move forward with those. But I think we're just going to listen to them present their computers to us this evening.
Okay.
Yes.
We're not voting.
Yes, council. So what we're going to do, they're gracious enough to stop by and talk to us, present their products, help answer some of the questions we may have for them regarding their computer systems. Yes, we knew that this was approximately $120,000 expense. It was really hopeful that the CARES Act was going to refund that amount. That did not happen. They didn't honor very much of our requests at all, unfortunately. We still haven't received what little bit they did award to us, but that's a whole nother subject there. So with that being said, here's where we stand. We either buy the computers, and they're still willing to extend the CARES Act purchase, I believe, which is a little bit less of the price, or they'll keep the systems and refund our money. So that's kind of our two choices here. So we're not going to make that decision tonight, but I want you guys to hear what they have to offer and ask them the important questions. Now, what we will do, and for you guys to know, we're not just going to drag this out. We will hold a special meeting next week with the full council and with our comptroller, so we can look at our budget, look at these monies, see, since we know we're not going to be getting reimbursed for it, at least not on this first round of CARES Act. If we're going to purchase them, how we need to do that from a financial standpoint, because it wasn't an already budgeted item. So we just want to kind of do that, do our due diligence as a city before we make that final decision. But you're here, and we thank you for that, so you might as well tell us what they're all about.
Can I say something, Bill?
Yeah.
I recall that when we did this, we sent the money in, and they're going to reimburse us. It was all right to get our money back. But they're not going to do this, but we have already sent a check in to them. So we can purchase them, right? With the money we've already sent in?
They have been purchased, correct.
Okay?
But moving forward with that purchase, because there was a guarantee, money back guarantee based
Yeah, I
on.
understand that.
Okay, so what this is about is moving forward with that purchase. Not doing it yet because they can reimburse us money. We want to move forward with that. That's what this is about.
I think we need a computer. I mean, you can't operate a police department without one. Because they already got the money. I think we should just go ahead and just get the computers and call it even.
Well, sure, the problem is we don't know how to pay for it yet. That's why we got to have that special meeting, because there's no money budgeted for it.
But that's what we sent in, a check.
We did with the hopes of getting a reimbursement, but we're not getting a reimbursement. That's what
I don't care what the reimbursement, why did that check that we sent in? Did we send a check in to them?
We did.
Then we
And now we're $120,000 outside of budget on the police department because we're not getting that money back. So
well, I'm not saying it's.
we've got to figure out
I'm saying we have the money. There's no reason not.
We don't have it in their budget.
Well, not in their budget, I understand.
We have it in other areas, but that has to be moved, and that's, that's not. We need to have our comptroller here in our budget for us to have a meeting about how we're going to move this money to pay for it. And again, I hope you guys don't take offense to that. It's just something we need to do.
That's normal course of business.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, we welcome you here to present your product. That will give us the knowledge going into this meeting of what we're looking at here. And then again, we'll do our due diligence by looking at our budget and figuring out how to make it work if that's what the council decides to do. Any other questions about that, council? About why I want to do it that way?
No, that's a smart move.
Just
Make sure the money there too.
yeah, I mean that's all we need to do. So
I just think we're gonna kill time, we're gonna do it, and we could have already done it, but that's all right. We have to do it. All right.
we
We're
got
just
to
gotta
figure out.
I don't understand here a little bit, that's fine.
So what we're saying is that maybe put off until next week.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
that's what I'm saying.
So we can have a meeting. We can have our comptroller here. We can have the budgets laid out in front of all of us, which none of us have that information right now, and we can figure out how we're going to pay for it because it's not in the police budget.
Yeah.
It's going to have to come from somewhere else. Now, there's definitely ways of doing that, but we need to sit down and discuss it and figure out how the best way it is to make it work. That's all I'm asking.
All right, I'm with that.
That's all I'm asking. Okay, so please, without further ado.
Greetings from Texas. Beautiful area that you guys have up here. My name is Shane Rapp, and I'm with Peacemaker Technologies. And this here is what we call the Peacemaker PM813. This is the exact unit that over 200 were deployed under the CARES Act in the state of Missouri and qualified and were approved. I can't speak for why yours weren't approved. Unfortunately, I wasn't here. We didn't make the presentation directly, but we tried to provide absolutely every possible amount of information that we possibly could so that you would be included and ultimately get your reimbursement. There were over 400 of these units sold in the state of Texas under the CARES Act, all approved, all push through. So again, without further ado, let me explain. First of all, we are a law enforcement company. We're made up of law enforcement officers. Myself, I've served for 23 years, still serve to this day. This computer was designed as a result of many, many years of riding around in a patrol car and working with a factory to develop a computer that is designed to benefit the officers in the field. So it is a fully rugged mil-spec computer. That means that this is the same one that this factory produces for the U.S. Marine Corps that gets deployed over in theater, in combat vehicles, and can sustain the rugged terrain. The most important things about a mil-spec computer are a couple of things. One, its ability to withstand vibration. If you put a standard computer in a car, the vibration, harmonic vibration, which is just the engine running when the vehicle is stopped, is going to ultimately destroy that computer. Rigorous vibration is even worse because you have moving parts inside of the computer that cause it whenever it hits a pothole or a rough road, train track, something, it will cause damage to the actual computer, so they will not sustain that. The next thing is temperature variations. So a standard off-the-shelf computer is going to operate ambiently, and it is designed to operate in your home. These computers are designed to have varying temperature swings up to 160-degree operating temperature, all the way down to in the negative degrees Celsius by negative 40 degrees Celsius. The reason why that's important is if you think about plastic components, metal components, when you get them real hot and then instantly cool them, they start to become brittle, they start to break, they start to fail. That is all included in the mil specs, and we must meet those standards to qualify. The other thing is dust. So if dust gets inside of a computer, that causes damage as well as to the keyboards. So it meets the dust requirements, and then it also meets the requirements for, I'm not going to say it's waterproof, but it is water resistant. I have seen them go underwater, and they will come back up and they will work, but it all depends on how long they're underwater, obviously. But this is not your standard computer, is the gist of that. Now let's take it one step further. Why did this computer qualify under the CARES Act and other computers did not? This entire device that you see here, keyboard, cradle, and the actual tablet itself, are treated with a chemical compound. It's an inorganic chemical compound that's approved by the FDA. It is what is known as an antimicrobial compound. It's called Novaron. Novaron is actually injected into this whenever it is developed, which now makes this entire device antimicrobial. We are sole source, we are the only ones that do this, and where the technology was actually borrowed from is the actual surgery rooms in a hospital. So if you go into a hospital and you go into an operating room, the devices have to meet certain standards because they cannot spread any pathogens in whenever they have somebody obviously on the operating table. So the same technology that is used there is used here. The device itself is completely sealed. It does not have a fan to circulate any air within the confines of the patrol unit. The actual compound that's on the device itself, as the officer is using it, it's not just for COVID. Obviously, COVID's in the news now. That's the main focus. But it's any pathogen. It's the common cold, the flu, SARS, MERS, COVIDs, various different pathogens. That actual injection of putting it into our system protects the officers, and ultimately that's what we're here to do. As a company, we founded the company to protect officers in multiple ways. From a health perspective, obviously having a computer that is designed to go in and withstand the rigorous environment of a police car, but also from an officer safety perspective. And so, Alderman Copeland, I respect exactly what you were saying in reference to you can't run a police department with computers. I will say this, you can't run one efficiently without computers because there's two ways to solve problems now. You either throw more bodies at it or you start throwing technology at it. Technology is going to be the most affordable and the most effective way that a city can address problems and hopefully reduce the amount of manpower that you actually have to continue to add and start addressing problems through technology. These computers are gonna withstand the test of time. They come with a 3-year, no questions asked, no fault warranty. So if they break, they pick up the phone, they call us. Within 24 hours, if we determine that it is a hardware failure, we will FedEx out a part and it can be replaced instantly in the patrol car. Then they can send the broken part back to us. We give you the benefit of the doubt first, then we replace it, or then we'll worry about getting our part back. But the whole goal is to keep the department moving and moving forward. And again, I cannot stress enough, having a mil-spec, fully military-grade computer in your patrol units is the only long-term solution for the city to look at. You can put a off-the-shelf box, what we call a box store computer in that vehicle, but I will assure you, you will spend the same amount of money, if not more, when you could have just put something that really withstood the test of time. And I'll answer any questions related to the company, related to the hardware that you guys may have.
Yes, go ahead.
I do. You say it comes with 3-year warranty, that's all right. What's the lifetime, what do you predict the lifetime is of that computer before it gets, I would say, outdated? And if it gets outdated, is there a, I'm looking for that word here, to update a computer?
Okay. So one thing as a computer hardware company, we cannot control what software companies do.
Okay.
So unfortunately, your police department's in a precarious situation. The federal government, through the FBI, mandates that we meet certain standards. Those are known as CJIS standards. The CJIS standard requires that this computer has to be under password, lock and key, and it must be maintained under an operating system that actually is being serviced. Currently, Windows 7 was end of life. So now the only option is Windows 10. Windows 10 is causing the current computers to fail because Windows 10 requires a 64-bit operating system. The current computers are 32-bit operating systems. So what I'm getting at is, if it is a hardware change, these processors, these are the latest generation of Intel processors. Now, if you know anything about technology, one could surmise that literally 3 months after you purchase them, technically they could be considered outdated because there's always new technology. However, what we have done and what we extend to the city of Cuba is, this is the latest technology today. We know that it's going to run. We know that it's warranted for 3 years. After 3 years, if for some reason there is a new technology that is required, we guarantee the city of Cuba a $750 residual on this computer trade-in towards the latest technology. You're not going to find another company out there that's going to offer a residual value on a device that's been riding around a police car for 3 years. But we understand. Now, if you're asking me how long do I think that this can be put into a police car and ride around after 3 years before it would fail, I know that there's departments that are out there that have been running them for 5 years. It all depends on, again, the actual usage and, does the department take care of them the way that they should. The one nice thing about this computer that I will say that will help extend its life, if you take standard disinfectant chemicals and you spray them on your existing computers, I would say probably in the next 3 to 6 months you're going to have to replace them anyway. This will withstand those chemicals because, again, of all the coating and the protection that's there.
The only reason I asked was, I want to know about the lifetime, because we can start budgeting at that lifetime to have, money in the budget this time.
Plan ahead for it.
What I would
saying, that's the only reason I'm asking this.
What I would suggest is, after this purchase is contemplated, if the city is, if you're gracious enough to move forward, which we hope you do, if you don't know, it's national news, that microchips are on back order everywhere. So most microchips and everything come out of China, unfortunately. Our parts are developed in Taiwan, but getting them here sometimes can be difficult. So worldwide, there is a shortage of microchips for computers, vehicles, everything. There's not a single police car being produced right now in the United States because there's no microchips to put in. That being said, these computers we've upheld our end of the bargain, we've kept them in the warehouse, they have your name on it. If the city elects to move away and not purchase, we will obviously resell those to someone else. But I would caution you in the fact that chances are you're not going to be able to find a rugged computer because these are all custom built. They're built to order. So if other companies don't have microchips, they can't provide computers. So you may find yourself in that type of a situation. Now, going forward after the 3 years, or if you start budgeting, we obviously want to provide good service. We want to continue to have the city of Cuba as a customer. We do have buying options for the future as well that we could present to you that would help you rotate these out and budget in the future as well.
Okay. I'm good.
Yeah, very good. Any questions, council? Seems
How
like
many are sitting in the warehouse with their name on them?
There's 15 units.
it seemed like the real deal.
It does.
So, and I would say, let me express too, the total cost is not just the computers. Okay, so you mentioned 120,000. Understand that is a turnkey solution. That includes the installation, the mounts to put them into the vehicles. It includes what you see here on the table. It also includes the radio connectivity to make it work with the cellular network. And most importantly, it also includes what we call the Peacemaker Live software. That is the social distancing software that allows officers to take reports remotely using the computer. So it actually has a video camera built in. They can take a police report. So if you have a person that is COVID positive or has a pathogen virus, they can still receive the same level of service from your police department as someone who does not. And it will even allow, if they have a witness or a suspect that has traveled outside of the area, they can actually use that software to interview that individual, and it is stored as a evidentiary video, and it is held for prosecution through the city or the county.
Very good.
Would someone from your organization come to Cuba to train our officers on how to use the systems?
Absolutely. So we will actually come on site here to Cuba. There'll be a team. They will install all of them, and at that time, we will educate the officers not only on how to use them and the function, but we will also train them on the care and maintenance of the units so that they last and they, live out their life. So that we're not filing a whole bunch of warranty claims either.
Okay. Any other questions, council? Can we thank you guys for doing this?
Absolutely.
And we just we'll have a meeting next week, call a special meeting. We'll hash out the budget. We'll talk about it, and we'll get something together for you one way or another on whatever the council decides to do.
Excellent. That's all we can ask, and we appreciate your time. Thank you for the hospitality of Missouri while we've been here. We will be heading back to Texas tomorrow afternoon after we visit 2 more agencies that require us. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. That's it, true.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else for Joe?
I do. So you said you had one nuisance and you've kind of taken care of it. That's wonderful. What about the other nuisance complaints? Where are we with those? For instance, one on Fair Street. I mean, what's your status on that? How are you working to control that problem?
That's another. I don't know where to go with that one. That one's a complete mess, along with a few others. As far as, does the city want to move forward with it and take care of it themselves?
What's the
I think we
specifics?
definitely want them taken care of.
What's the
our options here?
situation over there?
It's a mess. It's uncared for.
Trash in the backyard, neighbors in the entire block are receiving that trash. Windows are out. I
Nobody
don't even know if
lives
they
there.
have utilities there or not.
It sounds like it's an unsafe structure, for one thing.
I think that you had been over there once before, Craig, haven't you, for unsafe?
I haven't been in the house, no.
No?
Well, we need to
Nobody
determine,
lives there now currently, so I don't know.
Well-
Just getting Craig over there to deem it unsafe at this point.
Yes, Craig, see if we need to deem it unsafe, let's get that done. And then, obviously, if there's a mess that needs to be cleaned up, I'm sure you've tried contacting the owners of the property before. But during the notification of, hey, we just deemed your building unsafe, no one can occupy that building, be a good opportunity to ask them what they're gonna do about their mess, and then we may have to take care of it ourselves like we've done in the past, but there'll be a lien on that property for those expenses. But one way or another, whether the city's gotta act on it, or they choose to act on it, it's gotta get done, yes, ma'am.
Have you talked to the new owners? I actually just happened to answer the phone the other day, and the lady said that she is taking over the home. She had a court order, and I believe we shut utilities off to get people out of there. So I might have contact for the new lady who is taking over. It might be somewhere to start. I don't know.
Maybe somebody's gonna get it and make it right.
She called a couple weeks ago, and then she was waiting for a certain date, and then she called. I think she had them shut off. But I do have a phone number for her, and I have a copy of her court order paperwork, so it might be a start.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for planning for that. So see what her plans are with it. If not, we'll do it ourselves. Anything else, council? Okay, you have the bills to be paid as well as the addition to the bills to be paid. Is there a motion to pay the bills? Motion by Holt. Second. Second by Black. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Bills are paid. All right, looks like we have several bills to read this evening. So everybody get comfortable. And we will start with Group 1. Motion for the first reading of Bill number 1992. Aye. Motion by Copeland. Second by Holt. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? First reading, bill number 1992.
An ordinance amending section 2, pre-employment procedure in the City of Cuba Employee Handbook to amend procedures for pre-employment screening.
Okay, you've heard the first reading of bill number 1992. Motion to approve. Motion by Copeland.
Second.
Second by Mark. Whole council.
Black.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Copeland.
Yes.
Grady is absent.
Okay. First reading bill number 1992 passes 5-0. Motion for the second reading of bill number 1992. Motion. Motion by Holt. Second. Second by Black. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Second reading of bill number 1992.
An ordinance amending section 2, pre-employment procedure in the City of Cuba Employee Handbook to amend procedures for pre-employment screening.
Okay, for the second reading of bill number 1992, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Black. Second. Second by Spouse. Hold the council, please.
Black.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Copeland.
Yes.
Okay. Second reading bill number 1992 passes 5-0. That is now general ordinance number 1191. Moving on, bill number 1993. Motion for the first reading, bill number 1993.
Motion.
Motion by Holt.
Second.
Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? First reading of bill number 1993.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the City of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an extension of the lease agreement with National Medical Billing Services.
Okay, for the first reading of bill number 1993, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Black.
Second.
Second by Martin. Hold the council, please.
Grady is absent. Copeland.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Okay, first reading of bill number 1993 passes 5-0. Motion for the second reading of bill number 1993.
Aye.
Motion by Holt.
Second.
Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the City of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city to enter into an extension of the lease agreement with National Medical Billing Services Incorporated.
For the second reading, bill number 1993, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Bass.
Second.
Second by Black. Poll the council, please.
Ready? Copeland?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Second reading passes 5-0. Bill number 1993 is now special ordinance 812. All right. Bill number 1994, motion for the first reading.
Motion.
Motion by Black.
Second.
Second by Baus. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? First reading.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city to enter into an agreement with A&E Futures LLC, doing business as Regional Credit Services, a Missouri limited liability company for the collection of debt on behalf of the city of Cuba, Missouri's municipal court.
Okay, third and first reading, bill number 1994, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Holt.
Second.
Second by Baus. Poll the council, please.
Black?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Copeland?
Yes.
Ready?
Okay, first reading, bill number 1994 moves forward with a vote of 5-0. Motion for the second reading, bill.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know who the proper time to ask question is. I'm reading now too. Is this something that we already have in place, or is this something new that we're looking into doing as far as this collection? That we already use this service?
To my understanding, we already use this service, yes.
Thank you.
No problem. Motion for the second reading of bill number 1994.
Motion.
Motion by Black.
Second.
Second by Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with A&E Futures LLC, doing business as Regional Credit Services, a Missouri limited liability company for the collection of debt on behalf of the city of Cuba, Missouri's municipal court.
For the second reading of bill number 1994, motion to approve. Motion by Baus.
Second.
Second by Black. Poll the council, please.
Black?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Copeland?
Yes.
Okay, let me show on second reading, bill number 1994 passes 5-0. It is now special ordinance 813. This next one, Lance, quick question. Is this the...
This is the chickens ordinance.
Okay.
I will clarify, I apologize for the title, but that is the official
Yeah, no
title of
worries.
the ordinance. So I am sure that there are people that saw that ordinance and thought, we don't want to have pigs in the city.
Right.
The only reason
Why
that's the official title of that section, and all it really says is no pigs inside the city, and so but it goes on to list other livestock, and so what we are modifying is we're taking chickens out of what is determined to be no livestock, and then create a subsection for the regulation of that.
Understood. Thank you. And Missy, the animal control committee and yourself and Cameron, you guys are happy with the way everything reads and the protocols. Okay, very good. With that being said, motion for the first reading bill number 1995.
Motion.
Motion by Black. Second Michael. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? First reading bill number 1995.
An ordinance amending sections 5-25, Article 1, Chapter 5 of the Cuba City Code concerning the keeping of hogs, swine, and livestock.
Okay, for the first reading bill number 1995, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Black.
Second.
Second by Martin. Poll council, please.
Copeland.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Levy shown first reading bill number 1995 passes 5-0. Motion for the second reading of bill number 1995.
Motion.
Motion by Holt.
Second.
Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hold on guys, we're almost done with it. Okay, second reading of bill number 1995.
An An ordinance amending sections 5-25, Article 1, Chapter 5 of the Cuba City Code concerning the keeping of hogs, swine, and livestock.
Okay, you've heard the second reading of bill number 1995. Motion to approve. Motion by Martin, seconded by Black. Poll council, please.
Copeland.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
And very good. Second reading bill number 1995 moves forward 5-0. It is now General Ordinance 1192. Side note to that, for the press, anybody has any questions, please direct them towards the animal control out at the industrial park for the proper rules, regulations, licensing, permitting. There will be an inspection of the premises before the license and permit will be allowed, but all of that detailed information will be found at the animal control. All right, thank you, council. Old and unfinished business. So we're getting ready here shortly to move forward with the oath of office by newly elected officials. However, our newly elected officials are for the incumbents. So some of our other business we may be able to move forward. But that being said, is there anything anyone would like to add to old and unfinished business at this point in time? Yes, sir.
The last meeting, a meeting before Jeff and I had a look, we said that we'd like for our late fees, emergencies to be waived. You asked us, maybe to bring something up. I've asked Lance, and I've asked Lance his opinion. I'd like Lance to give us his opinion on that. Can we do it, Lance? Waive for emergencies?
I would suggest that if you're going to eliminate late fees, to eliminate late fees for everybody, and to simply remove it from your ordinance rather than call it waived. You have an ordinance that includes late fees, and it says shall. So if you want to get rid of late fees, there's an easy way to do that. I would simply remove that from your ordinance, and we would pass that as a new ordinance.
Now, are we getting rid of all the late fees, or are we just getting emergency? If you go to the hospital and they can't make back late fees, that all falls under one?
I would say that if you're going to do it for some people and not do it for others, you're opening Pandora's box.
So can we do it for 1 or 2 times a year for them, or do we have to do it for the whole year?
I would say you would do it where it would be all late fees are waived. Or I should say all late fees are removed completely as a possibility.
I think the difficult part is, on saying an emergency or this or that is, how do you determine that emergency over somebody else's emergency? I think that's a difficult thing to try to do. Now, as far as removing late fees altogether, can't say that's personally something that I would be for. I think we do have to have something to encourage people to pay the bills. Just my opinion. So I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some more information we can look into. Maybe we do it where if they bring a doctor's note or something that says I was in the hospital. I mean, I'm just, if there's a will, there's a way, Kevin. I mean, and I understand that. But I think it would have to be, pretty detailed. So it's not just saying, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it. Because unfortunately, people would probably do that a lot.
Well, you know what? I believe that the citizens of Cuba, I'm going to stand behind them. It ain't going to fly. I'm going to make a motion that we do away with late fees. Because then most people are going to come in and pay it anyway. It's just, I think a few won't. So I'm going to make a motion, if it ain't going to fly, to do away with late fees.
Sure.
We can't depend on late fees.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's try to help the citizens out here. Let's see how it goes.
Well, we have a motion on the table to remove late fees from our utility bill process. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll give him a second, but I think before we do that, we should have a meeting and discuss.
I'll go with you, Jeff. Since you're nice, I'll withdraw my motion. We'll have another meeting.
Okay.
I think we need to have a meeting where we can figure out, because it is crazy for a man who's paid his electric bill for 40 years and never been late, to have to pay a late fee one time with his wife at stroke.
I'll go away.
So let's do this. The motion by Copeland first is withdrawn, second by Bass is withdrawn.
Yeah.
Here momentarily, once we get on the other side of this recess, we're going to be approving our new committee plans. On that, there is a City Hall committee. I would encourage the City Hall committee, as well as anyone else who is interested, all council members can certainly be a part of that, to hold a meeting with the staff at City Hall to discuss this, to see what it would look like and how it would go. So that's what the committee is for. We'll learn shortly that that's Alderman Hope and Alderman Holt. But again, if anybody wants to attend, by all means, just get it posted and have the meeting, and then we'll take it from there.
I got another one then.
Okay.
When we're gonna look into that water, I also like to look into what Jeff Gauss brought up at the last meeting. The water goes through the meter, but you have a water main, a water line break, we do not charge the citizens for the water that went through that meter, we estimate. We got it, if it goes, not go through the meter, you know, but it's just going through, you understand what I'm saying? Through the meter, we got a city ordinance saying you have to pay it. I disagree with that. I know some of people I know had to pay a $300, $200 bill before. You know, water bill, because it went through that meter. So I was gonna say, it goes through that meter, and they can prove, not a plumber or something says, hey, they did have a broken line,
If the city,
we don't charge them.
if the city goes over there, the workers go over there to shut the water off and determines that it was a busted line.
I wanna look into that as well.
Okay, so that would be inside their room
If, like,
before it gets to our
the
meter.
lady up the street from me, she's renovating the house, and they live there, well, the water line busted, and it ran, the water ran. Well, she had a big bill, and, you know, if they didn't use that water.
They paid the water side of it, but they also got charged sewer.
It was going on the ground. So, on cases like that, I think then we should go back to the minimum uses, what the normal is.
Okay.
Well, see, they don't have to pay the sewer when they have a line break, they don't have to pay that sewer bill. But they do the water, our city ordinance said they have to pay the water, that's the one I wanna stop.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? They don't.
Well,
All right, Lenny?
I thought they did have to pay the sewer bill. Still.
I thought they did too.
Yeah, they do.
Kind of like when you fill your swimming pool up, you're still getting charged for the sewer.
Yes.
You know, however, that's something you're intentionally doing and you understand at the time. If there's a leak, then yes, I get it.
And our guys, not a plumber, our guys go over to shut the water off and see the busted line, and they come to City Hall and say they had a busted line, give them the minimum usage this one.
And don't charge them the extra part for the sewer.
Right, charge them just
Or anything.
minimum usage for water and sewer. If they have a busted line, you don't need to be making it hard on people living on
Cause
that.
that happened to my dad. Kevin's the one that helped me on that.
Yeah.
And,
So you see the importance.
and that was 3 days. We didn't even know.
You see the importance.
Yeah, well, he had to pay the water, but he didn't pay the sewer.
Well, with that also being said, gentlemen, Water and Sewer Committee is cold in the hole. So have a meeting. Talk with this water supervisor, talk with sewer, talk with girls, whatever you need to do, have a meeting, come up with something to present to us.
I got one other thing, two other things.
Go ahead.
There's two other things here. We seem to need to take a step back and let, the water town got muddy and cleared up. I'm here for the citizens to keep again, Ward 3. In a heavy rain, a lot of yards are, you know, they flood out over there on the other side of UGF. The road coats sometimes used to come out. And I think that, you know, a lot of people say this ain't a city problem, it's their problem. Well, that's not. It's our problem because the citizens of the city of Cuba is the city. You know, we paid $38,000 for an engineer to come down and look at this, gave us an ideal plan, and we did not follow through with it. It's not a one-person problem, okay? It's the citizens' problem, so it does fall on us. It is our problem. I would like to at least look back into the plan and see what's going to cost us to bring that water from over there, Doug Rose's place, down like the engineer said. We already paid the engineer $38,000.
That's your problem was they were gonna dump it on someone else.
See, that's what we got to ask. I want to see his plan. He says it's going to work, so I want to see that before we even think about it.
It'll work dumping it on somebody else.
But I don't know, you know. I'd like to look into that. And I had one other thing, but I think I just forgot. forgot about it. So I'm good.
If you remember, we'll come back around to you. Is there anything else on the old and unfinished business side of things? Everyone here this evening? Anyway, you can bring it up on new business.
I just remember, okay? Here we go. We seem to overlook something, we went out for part-time help, put in the paper for, natural gas or whatever. But we forgot one really important thing the citizens told me. A part-time helper. I'd like to go out for a part-time helper for a secretary for public work. That is all I'm hearing, that, hey, go over there, nobody's in, or we can't do that, the phone rings, ring, nobody's there to answer the phone, And the citizens are saying, if you're gonna hire part-time help, that would be the place to hire for now. So I would like to go out for part-time, just get applications, see what y'all think. I believe that you cannot operate public work without a secretary if everybody's gone. I tried to call him, he's busy. And you just cannot, people goes in there and say, there's nobody there, So I would like to go out for part-time help for public work. It makes sense. You're gonna do some natural gas, you're gonna do this department. Well, my guys, Craig, I'm on your committee and I'm gonna fight for you too. Let's try to get a secretary in there part-time.
We were gonna put that in the budget this year.
Huh?
We were gonna put that in the budget this year to get current.
Well, the budget's about here, yeah. And we already hired a part-time, but if you're going to do it anyway, let's just do it and run an ad in the paper. If the board agrees to that, let's get it done.
I'd like to wait to discuss it when we discuss the budget and personnel issues then, because we really don't know what we're gonna pay them, since we don't have that in place.
Or
For 2 months.
whether we go part-time or full-time.
That's
something to consider.
Maybe other options.
There's a definite need.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
If you wanna wait for budget time, that's fine, but I know Craig needs one, I'm just gonna.
It's only a couple months away, Craig.
No, I think it's definitely neat, and I think we best suited to sit down at budget time and hash out what the best plan of action would be. But I agree. Anything else?
No, I still got one more, but I can't think of it. I'm good. You guys can
Too bad, so sad. Moving on. Approval of the election results for April 6, 2021. Laney, would you like to give us a rundown on those?
The election results by the county clerk, Alderman Ward 1, Ray Mortimer had 39 votes. Debbie Martin has 64 votes. Alderman Ward 2, Sam Black, had 90 votes. Alderman Ward 3, Eva Thorpe had 65 votes. Jeff Bass had 68 votes. And the municipal judge, Steve Paulus, had 299 votes.
Okay, so there you've heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the election results that pertain to the city of Cuba and our municipality. We do know that the county tax measures passed as well, so that would be good. With that being said, is there a motion to approve the election results from April 6, 2021? Motion by Bass.
Second.
Second by Bull. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very good. Election results are approved. Okay, motion to adjourn before a quick recess, and then get something to drink, go to the bathroom, whatever we need to do, and then we'll finish this thing. Motion by Holt, second by Black.